Hilux owners, if you want to make your journey to the campsite, to work, or even school pickup more enjoyable, take a look at what Focal Inside has to offer. Most modern dual cabs, including your Ranger, Hilux, D-Max or Amarok, all come out with wired or wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So there is no initiative to change the factory head unit. However, customers are still complaining that the factory sound is absolutely terrible. Here is where Focal Inside comes into play, because we can tap in to the back of the factory head unit with plug and play harnesses and increase the sound and quality of the music dramatically in the cabin of your vehicle. The other request we get from customers is that they don't want to add any additional wiring or add anything else that looks custom, so that when the dealership sees the car for its regular interval service, they don't ask any questions. Now, because these cars come out with such long warranties, customers are extra hesitant into what they can do to their vehicle. Now, Focal Inside makes that super duper simple with all of its plug and play harnesses. The way it works is a step 1 and step 2 process. Step 1 is picking what car you have. If you have a Toyota, you use a Toyota harness, which is exactly what I'm holding in my hand right now. If you have a Ford, you'll likely get the Ford harness. And if you have a Mercedes or BMW, you get the harnesses accordingly. It's pretty easy and really simple to figure out what you need. The step 2 of that process is what type of system do you want? You basically have two options. Do you want to amplify 4-door speakers for a full amplified door speaker system? Or do you want to amplify your front 2 door speakers? Do you want the rears to go off the head unit? And do you want to be able to add a sub? So you basically have a somewhat 5-channel system versus a 4-channel system here. So you have two options there. That's a super duper loud siren. Anyway, so you've got these two options, and all you have to do is plug and play this up. So we've got the brown harnesses here, which plug into each other there. So you've got the male and female plug here, which goes in like that. And there you go, like that. These plugs actually plug into the back of the unit. So this will go in the factory side, and this will go into the factory head unit. So just imagine that back there. And this will go all the way down to your impulse amplifier. So every single Focal Inside amplified system uses this impulse amplifier. Each of these plugs get plugged into here, and depending on which harness you pick, you'll either get a 4-channel door amplified system, or you'll get the 2 amplified fronts, the factory rears going off the head unit, and then the sub edition there. So this is on a length of wire. So most people hide this roughly in behind your glove box or under your seat, and that is all hidden behind there. This then goes to your power and earth point. So I generally either run that from the battery or any sort of fused link down around the footwell area that other people use as well. I recommend that 100%. Now, this system makes it 100% reversible. You can literally rip this out within a couple of minutes and it looks completely factory. It gives a lot of people the confidence in enjoying their Hilux while they have it, instead of worrying about what the dealership or what the next person will say. So everything is completely hidden, and it is well worth it, because every single day you jump in, you get to enjoy great music. In the front of this Hilux, we have the IW-TOY-YISO-V2. It is a component set of speakers, meaning it has a separate tweeter and woofer. So down the bottom in the door, we have this. It doesn't have the tweeter in the middle. Instead, the tweeter is in the factory location, which is up here. It is sitting behind the factory grille, and that speaker is sitting right behind this factory grille as well. So to the eye, it looks completely factory. However, it sounds completely aftermarket. Now, because of our Focal Inside harnesses, we are able to amplify this to the factory plugs without needing any extra wiring at all. It loops through the factory wiring so that the amplified signal comes right to your door. This speaker also comes with your factory screw points as well, and a much larger magnet. It is a seriously good improvement for a factory look. In the rear doors of this Hilux, we have the IW-TOY-YISO-V2, which is the 6.5-inch coaxial version with the tweeter in the center. This goes right in the factory location. The magnet of this one is so much bigger than the factory. I wish I had the factory speakers here, but we got so sick of looking at them, we threw them away. The customer in this Hilux didn't want to sacrifice any space at all, whether that be behind the rear seats, under them, or in the cabin. Now, that is why he's opted in for the 4-channel system, meaning he's only going to amplify the front and rear door speakers without losing any space or anything at all. Once Once you have installed your focal inside system, all that's left to do is tune your impulse amplifier. Now all the dials and functions are on the bottom, and there's writing next to it to tell you exactly what each of them do. If you do have any questions, please reach out to one of our authorized focal dealers for assistance, and they'll help you along your way. Now, if you don't want to go to the extent of running an impulse amplifier with our 2 plug and play harnesses, you can just upgrade the front and rear speakers. It'll be an improvement over the factory system. However, installing this will make your system jump up from there all the way up to here. In addition to the focal inside kit, we have fitted BAM. I have an offcut in my hands right here, and what it is a foam layer, acoustic layer on top of an aluminium sheet. Now this goes on the inner or the outer door skins of the vehicle. In this car, we have fitted it on the inside of this side and the inside of the inner door trim. Now from the outside, you cannot tell and you cannot see anything whatsoever, but what it does is keep the road noise out of your vehicle and keep the good sounds in. It is well worth its weight in gold, and I recommend it to anyone that does a focal inside system. If anyone you know has a Hilux or any type of modern Toyota vehicle, make sure to reach out to us. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.